Hey all, welcome back to Sonic Heroes. We're going to continue our discussion, so let's go.
Yeah, I agree with Zeus, by the way. I agree with Yule and Zeus. I mean, Forces is one of its biggest problems is that you can tell a lot of the stages were just not
Boost the
finished.
win.
Well, boost to win, yes, but they're just not finished. Like they're
They're
too quick
finished.
and
They're just
too.
not fun. They're not fun.
I disagree. I think if you finish those stages that quickly, and there's just so many stages where it's like that's it. I think that they just fucking rush for time. I think they because like when you play the creative characters, those feel like fleshed out stages on in the base game. Like, you'll have to do nothing to those stages for them to feel fleshed out. Even he probably did something to them. Don't get me wrong, but like on the base level, you can play that part of the game and feel like this is a fleshed out experience. Whereas
Yes.
like and we don't mean fleshed out like Sonic Adventure 2 levels of like 10 or Sonic Unleashed like 10, 15-minute stages, but it's like you can have a fleshed out level design and it's not super long, but it's like the modern Sonic and classic Sonic stages just don't feel that way. And Trolls feel tight for what they're going for, but at the same time they don't feel like Generations or even Unleashed levels of tight. Where it's like it just I don't know if Forces' problems is the boost formula, as in the formula is the problem. I feel like bringing it back was like a mistake. I feel like if they just like even Lost World is kind of tight. Like it's not a terrible formula. Lost World's content is just kind of fucking boring and annoying.
I feel like
But that formula is tight.
I feel like I feel like the thing with the boost formula is that you need to have dedicated design for it. As in, you need to make stages that emphasize on reflexes, stuff like stuff that makes this kind of it's stuff that makes the kind of design that that doesn't downright just tell you, hey, you just need to boost to win and fuck everything else.
Yeah, I mean, Unleashed kind of gets away with it by the sense of it was the first time they did it, so it kind of gets away with that little bit of boost to win formula. Generations refined it. They skipped it after that with Lost Worlds, and I just don't understand. But at the same time, I'm not like I felt like Boost was and Colors. They did Colors, but I felt like Boost was kind of done after Generations, and they could have moved on from it. But I just don't know why they went immediately back to Boost formula when Lost World didn't work out, because it's like I'm not a huge fan of the Boost games, but I can understand why people like them. But
Oops.
just jump in a pit.
I mean,
Yeah,
I
Get a
am
checkpoint. Next time you get a checkpoint, there's a checkpoint. Jump in a pit.
Or
Right.
no, just get hit by an enemy. Whatever. You don't...
Why?
Hit doesn't do it to the key, does it?
Yeah, it does.
Does it hit? Okay, well, worth it. Worth it.
You literally just get hit by any enemy and you lose the key. But whatever.
Gone now.
But anyway,
Good.
if I can add on quickly on, I just thought of another response to the design question. So let me ask you this: earlier in the 3D cycle, like, do you agree that each stage is able to like tell a story, like it has a clear beginning, middle, end part? I feel like you can do that with a lot of the earlier 3D stages, and especially the classic. You can't do that with Forces at all. So I kind of retract what I said, and I do agree with you that those stages feel unfinished because it just ends abruptly. Like,
Yeah.
it's either
And in
like
the majority,
the end gate.
and
Look
in
at
the
end gate.
yeah, and in the majority of the occasions, it looks like the stage is about to start right when it ends.
Yeah,
Which is-
and that's what I was bringing up with like the fact that it feels like an unfinished game in some regard.
Yeah, even look at the first level. Like, you escape Green Hill to go to the sand apocalyptic area. I'm like, oh boy, now we're gonna see the street perspective. We're gonna run through a desert. We went from this green area to a desert area. Let's go. Let's fight those sandworms. Oh no, just silence. Where's the city? I don't even see the city in the background. It doesn't feel smooth.
Yeah, I mean, we're kind of blowing Sonic Forces commentary for before we get there, but I guess we can always just regurgitate it when we get there. Haha, am
Yeah.
I right, boys?
Yeah,
But I mean, the reality, yeah. Well,
Sonic
the reality,
forces commentary out of us.
be
reality
fair,
is.
this is our
go
fourth
ahead.
time through the game now.
Yeah.
The
The
really
reality
big
of
one?
Forces. Oh, the reality of Forces is that I was disagreeing that when Classic Sonic got revealed, it was the point of like people were done with Forces. I thought it was weird when but I do agree that now when you look back on Forces, the definite part of the game that doesn't need to be there is Classic Sonic. Like, there's
Oh, yeah.
no reason for him to absolutely be there.
Mhm.
Just nostalgia pandering. In a
Yeah,
game.
other than
In a game
justify
where
Sonic.
when we already got the nostalgia pandering done in fucking
Generation, Sonic Mania.
Sonic Mania, like
And we didn't need a reason to justify Mania existing. I don't know
Yeah.
why they felt like that's why we had to justify Mania existing, is to put it into Forces. Like, there's no reason to. It can just exist.
Yeah.
I certainly don't understand that either. Like, it just doesn't make sense.
Oh, look at these wonderful cannon controls here in the game.
Yeah, I feel like Sonic Team is comparable to a, like, I know it's like I always bring up sports comparisons, but it's kind of accurate in that it's a bad organization from like a sports organization. They don't, like, Sonic Team is poorly managed right now. They're out of touch with what the fans really want. They're out of touch with what they need to do to make their series quality again. And every time they grasp on the cusp, or they get on the cusp of greatness again, they collapse. So it's just like, I'm really worried at what they're going to do next, and I'm almost worried for a potential Adventure remake if that's where they're going, because it's like they might even fuck that up.
Okay, so it's time for me to sound a little bit more controversial. Yeah, this is why I'm not surprised that some of the team members and other people have, actively supported the firing of, Izuka-san. Because
Yep.
at this point it feels like it's a detriment to the entirety of Sonic team.
Well, I think it's a viable reality. Like I brought up sports. It's like your head coach or whatever of your sports ball team, like your head coach doesn't get to survive if he goes like 0-100 every season or whatever. You fire his ass. So it's like,
Yeah.
I get that Izuka has this, legacy touch, and I know Japan is about like legacy people. They love, like, Miyamoto, even if he was making bad games, would probably still be the head of whatever he's the head of. But I feel like it's not working out anymore for Sonic, and it's starting to show that old design, that old archaic mentality is starting to cause the series to suffer.
I
Yeah,
mean,
and whether
sorry.
I don't
Go
know
ahead.
who's responsible with the approval of these ideas. Like, I have to presume it is Izuka-san doing the pitch, doing the direction of the game. Because I mean, could it be Sega themselves meddling? If they see nostalgia working and they keep asking Izuka-san to hoard it out, or is it Izuka-san?
I mean, if you want me to theorize, like, it's probably Izuka-san under Sega's direction, because, well, for example, with Sonic Boom, like, the development was forced to Big Red Button because they were making a game in CryEngine, and
Right.
all of a sudden, Sonic Team tells them, you know what, fuck you, we have exclusivity deal with Nintendo for 4 games. Now you have to do Sonic Boom. Now you have to do Sonic Boom with
Man, that would have been a
on the
really
Wii U.
interesting game if that was the default title.
I mean, Sonic Boom, like, the real problem with Sonic Boom is that it was made for a system that it really wasn't meant to be made in. Like this, like, why will Sega want to have a fucking game that's meant for CryEngine 3 on on a system that doesn't even have the capability of running with that? Like, doesn't make sense at all.
A lot of Sega's history is nonsensical decisions, to be honest. But I just wish it end. Like, they've been in business for so long. I'm really starting to think. Well, not starting to think. I mean, I know it's very likely that it's a mixture of Izuka-san and the higher up of Sega just have no clue what they're doing. They just see the numbers and be like, "Hey, nostalgia sells. People love these animations by Tion Hess. So let's focus on the memes. Let's do this, and let's forget everything about what made Sonic good."
Well, I think I'm going to propose another problem here that might be key. Is like Mario, 3D Mario and Zelda and all that, it has a stale rate smaller than Sonic, or has a problem lesser than Sonic, because Nintendo develops other games outside of Mario and Zelda and all that stuff, and they have a well of IPs to go back to, or they just create a new one. Sega keeps going back to Sonic because it lets things like Knights die, it let Panzer Dragoon basically kind of die until the recent remake, of course. Yeah, but that's not even developed in-house at Sega, I'm pretty sure. So it's
Yeah.
like, Sega has these problems where they're not letting these other series take up time so that they can put a more dedicated focus to the next Sonic game, whatever it may be. They keep just pumping out Sonic game. Stop doing that. Stop getting the keys.
Damn it! Yeah! Force of habit. I'm sorry.
That's okay. Like Zeus said, just get hit by those little robot guys. Or actually,
I don't want to lose my rings.
You'll
We don't want to sit through another. We don't want to sit through an. Well, actually, this place not be the best place to do it. Next time you see something, get hit by it. There.
And also,
Fuck!
I should say that.
Okay, I'm no longer obeying you guys. Fuck off.
No more
Stop
grabbing.
grabbing the special rings first.
Yeah, maybe you won't have to die if you don't have to keep grabbing the keys.
God damn it!
Just focus on the enemies, man. 85's a lot.
Yeah.
But like I was saying, if you look at Chaotix, we're already noticing some differences about how they force in these dumb objectives on the stage. Normally, Sonic
It's not
Stage
as bad
have
as-
flow. It doesn't. Yeah,
It's not
like
as
it's just stop and go. I mean, you
Yeah.
literally. I mean, just before we stopped in the can, just to fire at enemies.
Yeah.
How was that fun? Like, are you playing a shooting gallery or are you playing a Sonic game? Like, if you wanna hit something in midair in a Sonic game, it should be based on the momentum you build up, a ramp you jump off, and then do something flashy that way. Not
Sonic forces needless gimmicks.
yeah. And this was definitely the first game, I think, to implement gimmicks poorly in the 3D space.
I actually disagree. I was gonna say this way earlier, so it's a good. I appreciate the segue into what I was gonna say earlier. It's like I think this Sonic Cycle stuff has started with Adventure. I like that sounds a little bit like WTF, but like I think it's because that's not me saying Sonic Adventure is a bad game, but I think the ground. Oh man, you missed one. As Yule's groaning, as everyone's groaning, to get back to what I was kind of saying, to get back to what I was kind of saying, I think the groundwork for what the Sonic Cycle would eventually become was laid in Adventure and Adventure 2. Think about it. Sonic Adventure 1 and 2 are remembered their Sonic stages, right? And the occasional fun treasure hunting stages. But then they also have the litany of gimmicks like the Tails and the Mech, or E102 Gamma, or Big the Cat, or Amy. It's like all these kind of gimmicky portions of their games that they work or they don't work, but it's inconsistent, and it's like that laid the groundwork for this whole gimmick where it's like it's applied to the game as a whole now, not just sections of the game.
Yeah, I do know, and yeah, gimmicks. You're right. Gimmicks were always questionable since the very beginning of 3D Sonic.
Yeah, and it's unfortunate.
Very
Because-
unfortunate. It's 99. What are we right now? 22 years since that first release?
Yeah, and it's like I'm happy for a eventual Adventure remake because we grew up with that, and when we get to the Adventure, LP, we're gonna have a fondness for that game. But it's like,
Kick that door.
yeah, but you can also realize like it's been around since then. What a fitting time to remake Sonic when Adventure 1, when Sonic Adventure, kick-started this problem they've never been able to shake.
Yeah, but was it
I also think that it's
since then?
I also want to blame this on the fact that Sega has no idea what they're doing at this point. Like, they don't know what to do with Sonic.
Yeah,
And I just clipped through the fucking thing. Yeah, whatever. They have no idea what to do with Sonic at this point, and I think that's the real deal with the snacks that they have. It's just they don't know what to do. They don't know what to do with Sonic. They don't know what to do. Like they want to keep this cash cow going, but they don't know how to exploit it. So
Well, I mean, it's a cash cow in the sense that Sonic
Oh,
is
there
the
it
only
is.
thing Sega. There it is. Oh, it's one of the ones we missed when Yule got the damn key.
Yeah, you just grinded right past it.
Yeah, I think we were so concerned. Nice.
anyways, yeah, going back to the subject. Yeah, I think that if Sega wants to just really badly, yeah, I'm gonna get it. Shut the fuck up, Charmin.
E for effort.
Ha.
E for
Yeah, we're gonna see. Yeah, and if you think that those 10 minutes are, you are going to be dragging this playthrough, wait until we get that later. Anyways, going back to the subject, I usually don't think very badly of Sega because they still do some cool stuff. Football Manager for one. Football Manager is an example, I
I,
suppose.
yeah, I mean, I unfortunately love Sonic games and Sega, so I'm never gonna fully give up on them. But the problem is, I hate being kind of taken advantage of for that reality. It just feels kind of unfair.
Wow.
It just feels unfair that like Sega has such a winning concept and format. Like Sonic Mania proves that it's like, would people just want a Sonic game design like Sonic, or even if you want 3D, 3D Sonic, you can have. Did the game crash? You good?
I
No,
just
it's
got
not.
back. How long
That one
has it
took a
been?
little longer than. Yeah, that one took a little longer than normal.
How long? 10, 15 minutes?
11 minutes. And that's the problem with these stupid ejector missions. It makes no sense. Like, it's inconsistent. In the first stage, you have to find half the crash, 10 out of 20. But in the third stage of the game, no, you gotta kill every single enemy. You can't just kill half the enemies. That's no fun. Ugh.
Going
They
back
should
to
have said that
the
for like challenge mode.
going back to the subject, it's like I believe that like Wid was saying that he doesn't like being taken advantage of, and I see where he's coming from as well. But the problem I have in terms of the way that Sonic Team treats his fans is like they're not even trying.
I can agree with that. Well, I think they're trying. It's just they're putting in they are putting in a crap effort because like they can never decide what they want to do until like the game has a year. Like Sonic Project Resistance, I genuinely do believe they didn't know exactly what they wanted to do until they announced like a year before release that they were going back to Boost and announced that Classic Sonic was coming. It's like, and you're just not giving your like Zelda and Mario, even the most bland Zelda game. People can argue what that is, whether it be like Wind Waker or like Twilight Princess or whatever it is. They're still really, really quality because like Nintendo puts years of development and thinking and time and preparation into these games. 3D Mario games are always pretty good because it's like they take a while to come out. Other games are being developed and then they can go and think about Mario for a couple of years and they'll have something out. Sega has bottlenecked itself into Sonic because it's the only thing they make.
Yeah, and like I said, they do know that they have a cash cow. They're clearly not fucking oblivious to that. But the problem is that they don't understand that if you want to have a cash cow, you have to be able to know what makes it a cash cow.
Yeah, look at other cash cows. Look at Call of Duty and other big franchises like that. Sure, they're derivative and boring, but hey, I mean, people they don't fix. They don't fix what's broken.
Yeah, I mean, I'd even argue that Call of Duty has a better mentality, which is weird to say, but it's true. In that they...
Don't pick it up.
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
I think...
Like on the voice of reason.
Call of Duty has a better mentality with development, at least, because like, they have two teams developing during... like one team will be developing a game for 2-3 years, and then the other one will, it'll come out after the first other team's game comes out. It's
because
Call of Duty is done.
Two companies developing at the same time, which is what allowed it to be like one release per year.
Yeah, and it kind of gets a little stale. But Sonic needs that problem right now. We need to go. Sonic is kind of stale. It's time to change it. Not they're bottlenecking themselves, and then they're trying to stay fresh.
We need it to actually become stale before it changes, not 10 years after.
Yeah,
I agree, but you know what they really need? Like, I've been watching a lot of videos on this. There needs to be a complete restructuring of how the development cycle is. Like,
exactly.
Like you brought up design teams for Call of Duty. Sonic needs design teams as well. You need a core team for the main games. You need a team dedicated to spin-offs, and then you commit. You commit to like once every 4 years you have a mainline Sonic game, and then you can have 2 to 3 in between games of spin-offs.
Sure,
yeah.
And that way, good ideas that come from the spin-offs can be implemented into the main series games without compromising and experimenting. Because you get the feedback beforehand without compromising the main product.
You are
like
making
how the Boost formula came to be in the first place with Sonic Rush on the DS.
That's what Mario does too. Mario has a bunch of spin-off games, but they have their main team working on other things as well. And Zelda started doing that too, with things like Hyrule Warriors and like other spin-off titles that come with the series. And
I kind of
I just don't
disagree.
understand
Zelda,
why-
like Hyrule Warriors came out, but like Zelda doesn't. I mean, it's weird for Zelda because it's like I think Sonic found out the Nintendo strat too late. Because Sonic tried to do that spin-off shit, you know, and it didn't work. Because there was even the spin-offs. Like, are you gonna play Chronicles Dark Brotherhood? No, you're not. 'Cause it's a bad
Are you gonna
game.
play Sonic Boom Rise of Lyric? No.
Yeah, no, you're not, because it's a bad game, and it's like.
well, they weren't consistent. They were hammering out spin-off after spin-off, with no goal or no competent, experienced team behind it.
Yeah,
They're
I mean
just pulling
that's
new people every
definitely.
time.
Yeah, that's why something like Mario and Luigi works. That's why something like even doing because like I don't because who developed like Link Between Worlds and all that stuff? Like, because that's technically a Zelda spinoff, but it's also kind of not. And it's like that's true, but like I feel like Sonic just when they do branch out and want to give themselves time to work on the mainline Sonic games, they just give it to the most incompetent fucking people, like you were saying. So it turns out to be a bad spinoff.
Or
I mean,
in the
it-
case of Rise of Lyric, bottleneck them to the worst degree.
Yeah, but how
Or-
can Nintendo
yeah,
do
set-
it with
set
so
them-
many Mario spin-offs?
No, in the
Sonic
in the case
spin-offs?
Sonic Boom, it was just the fact that they pretty much set the developers at big red button to failure. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, and yeah, that's what I heard about Sonic Boom is like there were like Sonic team was essentially like anytime the Big Red Button would have a good design or would have a good thing, Sonic team would like put their fingerprints all over it, you know?
Yeah, they will
It's
pretty
like-
much. They will pretty much say, "Hey, we don't want you to do that. We don't want you to do this. We don't want you to."
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
yeah, like it's not that Big Red Button was incompetent. It's just that Sonic
A
Team
little-
and Sega
well,
were just being
yeah.
stingy bitches.
Sega Motherlick.
Big Red Button. I mean, because like I don't think Big Red Button developed anything great. Like it's a little bit of column A, column B, but the problem is with Mario spin-offs, like Mario sports games are simple. Mario Party is kind of simple. Mario Kart's not hard. But like when they do commit to the spin-offs like Bowser, the Mario and Luigi series, they let the team who's making that game or former team, I mean they're gone now, but they were letting that team kind of do whatever they wanted. They didn't like tell them no, we can't let a Mario, Paper Mario for a while, and Paper Mario kind of fell into a trap because of the Sonic reason.
Also,
So-
Luigi's Mansion, another successful spin-off.
Yeah, and it's like they let these series breathe and let them be their own thing, and it's like Sonic can't do that because Sonic Team is so
It has
adamant
this-
in getting on its own way.
It has to stick to its own status quo, and I don't like that shit. It's so dumb.
It's very complacent. Their decisions, their design, philosophy, it screams nothing but we lack confidence to do anything except something that'll print money and memes.
But like I said before, if they want to have a cash cow, understandable. You know what? Do whatever the fuck you want. But at the very least, understand why it's a cash cow to begin with. Why do we need to keep sticking with this bullshit about fucking Sonic?
Well, we're coming. This is where like the argument becomes conflicted because like we're saying Sega's complacent, and yet Sega's problem is that they keep changing things up. So it's like that's why. Actually, I think that's why Sonic has suffered so much from the last.
They're
15 years.
complacent in trend chasing and cash cows. How about that? They're not complacent in actually devoting time into a good idea and letting good series simmer.
Not
That's
really
the
what I was
problem.
gonna say. I think the problem is that they fuck. Never mind. I forgot. My train of thought's ruined.
Fuck.
Oops.
Oops.
That's very much like Team Chaotix to do. We're still here.
Okay,
Went through
I figured out what I
your
was
whole
gonna say.
debate and
Yeah.
still
I figured out
climbing
what-
platforms.
Right. I figured out what I was gonna say. It's like they keep trying to change things up and all that stuff because they don't want to get stale, et cetera, et cetera. And then when they have an opportunity to give Sonic the game a couple, stop. Let me finish.
Sorry.
I
I said V. I was making a V pun. Fuck.
shit.
Sorry.
It's the last one, thankfully. Yeah, they commit to that stuff, and then when they want to give, you just, yeah, I have to get that open.
No, dude, you.
You're going the wrong way.
Going the
Help!
wrong way.
Help!
Espio,
they
save
commit-
us.
I'm back.
They commit. Yeah, they commit to no, you're good. They commit to.
Oh fuck! I just.
They commit to changing things all the time because they don't want to get stale. And yet, when they have spin-offs and when they get other people to do spin-offs so that they can have time to develop the mainline games, then they get too conservative and they want to have it like they want to have Sonic be a certain way. And it's like, well, what is Sonic's certain way? You don't fucking know what it is.
Yeah.
Oh, here's a fucking switch. Clever days. I've never seen this section actually.
I think you skipped it too hard by speedrunning.
That's the thing.
Speed running on a Chaotix run.
That's the thing. I didn't try to speed
How
run
dare.
it. I was looking for
I know,
the switch.
Unintentionally zooming through this part of the level.
Yeah.
Because
Alright.
they made the elevator sequence more boring. How?
Finally, just Team Blast.
Yeah, it's
What
already
is
boring
this?
enough.
Speed in a Sonic game? Blasphemy.
Also, oh, I was gonna say, I like Chaotix's Team Blast a lot, and we'll see it when we get to the enemy rushes, because, like, I think the idea of it giving you ring boxes every time you kill someone with Vector's bad singing is hilarious.
It is pretty funny.
And if you do it in a giant group of enemies, you get enough rings to get another Team Blast.
Right.
Team Blast are definitely a lifesaver. I usually should build them up faster because
I get it. I'm not fast. Oh Jesus Christ!
Mhm.
That's Chaotix.
It's like
No,
it's
I'm not
like
criticizing you. I'm criticizing the design. Relax.
No, he was making fun of the game.
yeah.
It's so pixelated.
What do you think you're doing here?
Look at these in-game models. Don't they look better?
Bro? He fucking called it a bro.
I know what you're after.
Yeah.
Oh,
I love
fucking
Shadow. I love
God.
Shadow's head there, though. By the way, I think he was like just kind of nodding his head to everything Rouge was saying. Like, yeah, yeah. It's like, why are you two even fighting? You have no reason to be fighting other than you're just forced into this game against each other.
And Vector called her a broad.
Well, this came out. 15 years.
This came
ago.
out when that was okay.
Yeah.
Really? Broad hasn't been used.
What? What?
Hasn't been used since
Did
like
he-
Well, I guess
20s to
Team Dark
40s.
won just as easily as they did earlier.
Did he just fucking like? Did he just fucking like light speed dash into the fucking blast zone or whatever?
Oh yeah, I gotta love those homing collision physics right there.
Right.
Yeah,
These
fucking.
are so horribly designed. Like, I don't know how these character battles got worse and worse throughout the 3 quote-unquote adventure games. Because, like, this is not an adventure game. This is where, well, this is the first time they radically started changing the formula in the Sonic series, and it's like they never stopped, really. But yeah, I don't know how these got worse as time went on.
Really?
Oh my God! How does he keep collecting them? Ah!
First, we may get like, what the fuck? This is like, how do you go into like a 5-minute explanation of these mechanics when it's just like team battles?
What?
First, they collect.
Ugh,
rings,
what
more,
just
get the
happened?
power core. Who cares? We won. We'll see. We'll see you guys
go
next
to the
part.
next
I think.
part.
I think
Yeah, see ya.
yeah, I think we're good.
I'm done with this shit.
We're only 2 zones in.
Oof.
God help us all.